Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for February 25th, 2013. This is your congested and cold ridden meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. First I want to apologize for my voice. I'm going to sound like a frog today, and hopefully it goes away by tomorrow. Let's get to this forecast here, where temperatures are ranging from the upper 20s to the lower 30s throughout the entire northern mid-Atlantic. We have winds basically light from the northwest around 5 to 10 miles per hour. And we have temperatures pretty much, again, for the most part, near normal for this time of year. And we have clear skies throughout the entire coastal region. As we move towards the interior, we have some low clouds in place, producing some overcast conditions. We can see on the radar here, we really don't have much in the way of precipitation. We do have some snow showers trying to sneak into northeastern Pennsylvania, thus the cloud cover. But this is pretty much collapsing as our strong storm from this weekend is lifting up into the Canadian Maritimes and out into the Atlantic. And it's taken a very important track, which I'm going to show you why it's so important in just a moment. Taking a look at the latest infrared satellite picture, there is a very impressive storm here developing over the southern plains, producing blizzard conditions over the Texas Panhandle, Oklahoma Panhandle, and up towards Kansas. This is where I used to live for about 6 years. And as the cold air infiltrates much of Oklahoma and changes this over to a snow event, even for Oklahoma City, it's going to have a major impact on travel in these locations. And believe me, when these people get snow, it's a major deal. Just a flurry causes a whole lot of panic. So 3 to 6 inches of snow in the Oklahoma City metro is a big deal, and over a foot of snow in the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles is something that is basically crippling in some cases. We also have a lot of moisture pooling over here over the southeast. This is going to remain to the south of us, but you're going to get some of the cloud cover spill in here. And this is our storm. Notice the track that it's taking. Let's zoom out a little bit and take a look at the water vapor satellite picture. So here's our storm here. Okay, it's starting to lift towards the east. It's moving due east. Why is this important? Well, if this was moving here, then this would not be able to lift up into the Great Lakes. It would have to redevelop a lot faster towards the coast. But as you can see, it's moving due east. And that means that you allow this storm to at least approach the Great Lakes before having to redevelop towards the New England coastal waters. And that means that we're going to have a southeast wind ahead of the storm. And of course, an easterly wind, especially a southeasterly wind, means rain. And plenty of it for the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. And in this case, even for the interior, you might start off with a little bit of snow, maybe up to 4 inches of snow in some locations over, let's say, northeastern Pennsylvania, Sussex County in New Jersey, portions of the Hudson River Valley in northwestern Connecticut. But that even is going to change over to rain as warm air surges into those regions as well. It's going to be a little icy, though, I think, on Wednesday morning, so use some caution. So again, this storm is going to lift northeast. And notice we have more storms on the way coming in from the Pacific. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, okay, this weather pattern is primed for a major winter storm. And it is in terms of high latitude blocking. We have our negative NAO, we have our negative Arctic oscillation. So your indices are right where you want them to be. The problem is that the timing is all off. Okay, and you can kind of thank the Pacific for that. And so as a result, as these disturbances keep on ramming into the west coast, you keep on dislodging this ridge, and so therefore you throw the whole pattern off place. So either you end up with a storm track too far west or too far east. And that's pretty much what we're going to be seeing over the next 7 days. So let's take a look at the European model guidance, which is in strong agreement with the GFS model guidance here. By this evening, we have our strong upper level low over portions of the southern plains, drawing cold air into much of the southern plains. This is what's going to change us over to snow. Notice over here, we're still very cold. But also notice our upper level low is shifting east. And that means that we are going to allow for this upper level low to lift northeast. Also notice we're starting to get a nice little southeast ridge building up here. And that, of course, means that winds are going to start to be able to shift to the southeast. Now, here we are by tomorrow evening. We're going to have clouds increase throughout the day. Notice where our high pressure system is. Our high pressure system is now over the Canadian Maritimes. If this storm lifted here, this high pressure system would be here, forcing cold air south. But instead, we have the high pressure system over the Canadian Maritimes. Notice our pressure gradient, that's going to drive southeast winds right into the coastal plain from the Atlantic, right into the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. And that, of course, notice the 540 line here. This is our thickness line that we look for snow. Look how far north it is. It's all the way up into New England. At 850 millibars, the 850 millibar temperatures are rising rapidly. They're still below freezing around New York City and around the northern interior at this point. This is Tuesday evening before the precipitation really starts getting going. But notice a very strong 850 millibar jet stream from the Atlantic right into the northern Atlantic. So all the indices here, all the indications here are clearly pointing to rain, not snow. So that's a very important index here. Now here we are by Wednesday evening. Our upper level low moves towards northeastern Pennsylvania. Now remember, it goes from the Ohio River Valley or Tennessee River Valley into northeastern Pennsylvania. That means you have a tremendous amount of warm air surging out ahead of this storm, ahead of the 500 millibar and 850 millibar low. So that basically tells me that we're going to be dealing with plenty of heavy rainfall over the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area Tuesday night into Wednesday morning and through much of the day Wednesday. But it also tells me that if you're in the northern interior, look for a little bit of rain-snow mix, mixing over to snow at times, and then that's going to rapidly change over to rain on Wednesday as temperatures surge into the 40s. And as you know, it's kind of hard to have accumulated snowfall when temperatures are in the 40s. And then as the storm lifts out, you might be saying, hey, look, cold air's coming in. Yes, but at the same time, so is dry air, and you're going to get a significant dry slot. Most of your rainfall is going to be to the north and northeast of this low pressure system, not necessarily to the northwest, because we start to get a shift of energy towards the coast, specifically towards the New England coast. So that's going to lead to a significant cutoff in your precipitation. So if you're banking on cold air coming back in and giving you a heavy snowfall in northeastern Pennsylvania or around the New York City metro, that's going to unfortunately fail because we also have dry air coming in. It's going to cut off the precipitation before cold air can actually work back into the region. So the storm exits, and then for Friday, look for windy conditions, temperatures falling back to near normal conditions. We're talking about mid to upper 40s. Again, for this time of year, we're starting to get to the point where our normal highs are around 46, 47, 48 degrees. For the rest of the week, look for high pressure and control. Still windy, but not necessarily incredibly cold here. Now, by the end of the forecast period, let's say about Sunday, we start to see a shift in the weather pattern where this ridge and trough complex develops a very impressive dynamic here. We get a very strong ridge by the end of the forecast period here by next week, by the middle of next week. And you're probably saying, wow, it's going to get really cold. Yes, it is, but it's also going to be dry. Why? Because this right here is what you call too much of a good thing. The negative NAO and the Arctic Oscillation is too strong, and unfortunately that means it's the pressure in the storm track. So yes, it does get colder, but right now it looks like that the initial weather pattern for the end of the week, if you're looking for a major storm, this disturbance right here forces this trough too far east, so this storm exits too far east, and then thereafter you end up with a weather pattern that's cold, but suppresses the storm track too far south and east to produce any major winter storms, at least for right now. So it looks like, again, we're going to go from a rainstorm to a relatively dry and slightly below normal temperature regime as we head into the weekend and into early next week. That is your forecast discussion for today. Of course, I'm your congested meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. You can follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and nynjpaweather on Twitter and Facebook. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there.